This conference will now be recorded.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा। तू अव्वल तू आखिर तू जाहिर तू बातिन, 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 तू अव्वल तू आखिर, 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 तू जाहिर तू बातिन। अल्लाहुम्मा लक सुजूदी व ताअती, शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, शुक्रन लिल्लाह वल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। या अली मदद अजीज सर।
या अली मदद, या अली मदद, बहुत खूब, बहुत खूब, सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह। तमाम साथियों को या अली मदद। आज हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे इंशाल्लाह लंदन यूके अगस्त 6 1994 के बैतुल ख्याल के फरामीन को, जहां पर हमने उसको पिछले हफ्ते रोका था। इंशाल्लाह मौला के नाम से आगाज करते हैं। नूर मौलाना शाह करीमुल हुसैनी हाजिर इमाम, हाजिर इमाम। या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा, 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 मदद फरमा। नूर मौलाना शाह करीमुल हुसैनी हाजिर इमाम, हाजिर इमाम। तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी, तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी। या मौलाए मेहरबान गरीबों पर रहम करना मौला, अपना मुबारक हाथ, बाबरकत हाथ हम गरीबों पर रखना मौला, ताकि हम तेरी रहमत, तेरे नूर की रोशनी में कोई इल्मी काम कर सके मौला। या मौलाए मेहरबान, या मौलाए मेहरबान हमारे करीब आकर खड़ा हो जा मौला। या मौला हमें अपने नूर से रोशनी, तौफीक व ताहीद, हिम्मत व यारी इनायत फरमा मौला। Please recite the holy salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Baitul Kal Farman. Many spiritual children have come to me after years and they have said, Hazrat Imam, we have done wrong. We have sat regularly in Bandagi and we have failed. I have said to them that there is no wrong in sitting in Bandagi, because the very fact of sitting in Bandagi is an act of spiritual search, and it is not that failing to find the light is failing. हम यहाँ पर रोकते हैं। मौला फरमाते हैं कि कभी कभार लोग इसमें आज़म लेकर आते हैं और कहते हैं, या मौला हम नाकाम हो गए हैं, हम बाकायदगी से बैठते हैं मगर बंदगी में हम नाकाम हो गए हैं। और मौला फरमाते हैं बंदगी के अंदर नाकामी जैसी कोई चीज ही नहीं है, कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है। When Jamaat comes to Mullah and say, we have failed. Mullah said, there is no such thing. There is no such thing as failing in the practice of ibadat. Because ibadat is the act of spiritual search. ये तो एक रूहानी बैतुल ख्याल है, उसमें कामयाबी और नाकामी की जो बात है वो नहीं होती है. The question comes to mind, how do we understand that part? One, have we been successful or have we failed? Or in other words, are we getting something out of ibadat? That would be the question. Are we getting something out of ibadat? Ibadat, bandagi. If we understand the meaning of ibadat bandagi, then there never be a question in our mind that I am successful or I have failed, because ibadat must be of the love of the Imam and of the Ismi Azam and of your own soul. And in love, there is no success nor failing. Because you love Imam, you love the Ismi Azam which is given by the Imam, and you love your soul. In physical world, हमारे जाहिर के अंदर हम हर चीज को तोलते हैं. यहाँ पर 2 पैसे मिले, यहाँ पर मैं कामयाब हो गया, यहाँ पर 2 पैसे का नुकसान हुआ, यहाँ पर मैं फेल हो गया. In the physical world, we think of success and failing depending on your reward at the end. Because the purpose in the physical world was that you do something and in return you get something. But in the search, personal search, Betul Khayal, Ibadat, Dua, Bandagi, Tasbiyat, Giriya Wazari, the action of it, one must understand and should do with the love of the Imam, the love of the Isme Azam, and the love of your soul. Maulana Ka Sultan Muhammad Shah, Salawatullah alayhi, may our soul be sacrificed to the Imam, says that those who were the lover of their soul, they went much higher than the others. तुम में से जो अपने रूह के आशिक थे वो बुलंद मकामात तक पहुंचे हैं. You see, we must understand in the ibadat that ibadat is not a trade. इबादत एक सौदा नहीं है कि मैं इबादत करूंगा तो मुझे ये मिलेगा. इबादत जो है वो इश्क के साथ होती है. Now, in the love, when you sit in ibadat, you feel happy. You feel happy. That is the happiness that Mullah speaks about. That when you sit in ibadat, you will feel the happiness in your heart. But if we are not understanding what ibadat is, then it would be hard to feel that ibadat. Let me give you a couple of pointers with your permission. अगर इजाजत दें तो हम इसके बारे में कुछ बात करें. This is nothing new which this Garib and Nachis have not said it before, but it is proper at this place to say it. And it is a personal question, a reflection on our own self. We are not requiring an answer to this. Ask yourself, it's a personal question. Do you do ibadat as a burden, or do you do ibadat as a happiness, a khidmat, a qurbani in the love of the Imam? Now you will say, how do I know that? How would I find the answer to that question? All right, let me help you find the answer to this question. Those who are ibadat guzar, आप में से वो लोग जो इबादत गुजार हैं, they do regular bandagi, they like to sit in bandagi, they like to sit in bandagi. If you look at them, their way of life would be different than the other. For example, they sleep early. Why do they sleep early? Because they cannot wait until morning ibadat time. Because they are in so much love that they want to meet the Imam, they want to talk to Imam, they are hoping to have that happiness to be near the Imam in the remembrance. Next, they eat less, especially at night. They do not eat late. Why? Because they are afraid if they eat less, there is a chance that they may not be able to wake up in the morning. And they do not want to miss ibadat. So what do? They eat less or they eat early. You see, ibadat is a practice. Ibadat is a discipline. And ibadat is a कुर्बानी. आपने देखा कि इबादत के अंदर बाकायदगी और डिसिप्लिन और कुर्बानी की जरूरत होती है. But it comes easy to those mu'mineen who does ibadat with love, not with or as a burden. और ये काम आसान है उनके लिए कि जो इबादत इश्क के साथ करते हैं, कि मुझे मेरे मौला से मिलना है सुबह को. ऐसा ना हो कि मैं नींद में हूं, मौला आए और चले जाए. मौलाना का सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि, may my soul be sacrificed to their Imam, in one of his farman say, I come and wake you up every single morning In another Farman, he says, angels comes and knock on your head, try to wake you up every morning, but you are sleeping in laziness, in ignorancy. तुम सुस्ती में और जहालत के अंदर सोए हुए हैं, मैं खुद आता हूं तुम्हें सुबह को उठाने के लिए. And that is what Imam is saying here, that there cannot be a failure. So why do we feel that we have failed? The reason that we feel that we have failed, one, because we have not understood what ibadat bandagi is. Second, we are doing ibadat bandagi as a burden, not as a qurbani of love. क्योंकि लव के अंदर आप सिर्फ देते हैं खुशी खुशी से, बर्डन फील नहीं करते हैं, क्योंकि वो कुर्बानी है आपकी, आपके इमाम के लिए, आपकी रूह के लिए. So I believe, ask self question and watch. When you understand this part, from going forward, you should feel happy when you sit in ibadat, because you are close to the imam. Because you know imam is watching you, imam is standing next to you. If imam is standing next to you, how can you be unhappy? जब इमाम आपके साथ खड़ा हुआ है, तो क्या बात है, क्या हमारी मजाल है कि हम कहें कि मैं गमगीन हो गया, मेरे दिल में खुशी नहीं है. मोमिन तो बाग बाग हो जाता है जब इमाम उसके साथ खड़ा हुआ हो. Alright, let's go forward. Mullah says, because the very fact of sitting in bandagi is an act of spiritual search. ये बेतुल ख्याल है, ये दुनिया का ख्याल नहीं है, बातिन का ख्याल है. और आपके बातिन के अंदर एक पूरी कायनात समोई हुई है. आप ही के अंदर इमाम का नूर और दीदार समोया हुआ है. This is a matter of spiritual search, not a physical thing. This is Betul Kyal of your personal world, and within your personal world there is the entire universe. Within your personal world there is the Noor and the Didar of the Imam. If that is the case, how can one be unhappy? It is not that failing to find the light is failing. It's not that. Mullah said, in those circumstances, the only thing that has happened is that you have not been reached by that light. Not that you have failed, the light has not reached to you yet. In other words, you have not cleaned your heart, your thoughts enough for light to reflect on your heart. Remember, Murid and Murid's heart is like a mirror. When we wipe that out, when we clean our heart, our thoughts, then the light will reflect. But light is there. Know it and be happy. The Imam has already have given you the Nur, and the Roshni is in you. It's not outside of you. It's in you. Again, 40th Imam says in one of his Farman that Mu'min must clean the mirror of his heart so my didar may reflect on your heart. मौला फरमाते हैं कि एक मुरीद के लिए जरूरी है कि वो अपने दिल के आईने को साफ करे ताकि मेरा दीदार उसके अंदर झलक जाए. Alright, but there is no failure as such, and I am concerned and sometimes unhappy when a murid said to me, Hazrat Imam, I have failed. It is not failure. मौला से मुझे आपकी चिंता होती है. मैं अनहैप्पी हो जाता हूँ जब मैं सुनता हूँ कि मेरे मुरीद आगे कहते हैं मौला बाबा मैं नाकाम हो गया. मौला बाबा बोलते हैं इट इज नॉट फेलियर, ये नाकामी नहीं है. आपकी समझ में गलती है मगर ये नाकामी नहीं है. नाकामी नहीं है. Therefore, when you sit in bandagi, if you are not successful for some time, whatever time it may be, never rise from bandagi unhappy. Never rise from bandagi unhappy. अगर कुछ वक्त के लिए आपको नूर ने नहीं छुआ है तो इसका मतलब नहीं है कि आप फेल हो गए हैं. जब भी आप इबादत से खड़े हो तो याद रखें कि आप मौला के साथ बैठे हुए थे और मौला ने आपका हाथ पकड़ा हुआ था. मौला का हाथ आपके कंधों पर था. ये जानकर आप खुश हो जाएं. Be happy. Be happy that you were with Mola for an hour. Just imagine if Mola had come to Darbar and he was in the Darbar for an hour. How happy would that make you? Just like that, Mola is with you for an hour every day. You know what makes me unhappy personally? When I see our brother and sister, our Jamaat, at 4 o'clock, as soon Mukhi Sahib turns off the light, Jamaat gets up and they are outside drinking coffee, talking, laughing, wasting their time, while Imam is inside waiting for them. Can you imagine that Mola Baba is waiting for you in the Jamaat Khana and you are outside? How do we do that? That is out of my comprehension. कि 4 बजे आप बाहर खड़े रहकर काफी पी रहे हैं, बातें कर रहे हैं, मजाक कर रहे हैं, हंस रहे हैं और मौला आपका इंतजार कर रहा है. That does not sound like a murid and murshid relationship. This does not sound like love between a murid and a murshid. एक मुरीद जो इमाम को प्यार करता है वो ऐसा क्यों करेगा, कब करेगा ऐसा? How and where would he do that? Think about this. When I personally see right after 4 o'clock, as soon as Muki Sahib turn off the light, जमात बाहर जाके चाय पी रही है, बातें कर रही है, हंस रही है, अपना वक्त जाया कर रही है. They're just wasting their time. Now they are making Imam unhappy. A murid does not do that to his Imam. Think about that. Remember, our tariqah is a tariqah of logic and intellect. A person with intellect does not do that. ये अकलमंदी नहीं है कि हम रात को उठकर इबादत के लिए जाएं और इसके बाद बाहर खड़े रह के बातें करें. That is not logical. It's not logical. And that's why I have failing to understand why would you do that. When you have woken up, you have taken the burden to come to Jamaat Khana. Instead of ibadat, you are standing outside. Was that the purpose of you coming 4 o'clock in ibadat? To stand outside and talk, drink coffee? Don't you have a coffee in your home that you can drink? What was the purpose of coming to Jamaat Khana? I cannot find a single person who would say, oh, I come to Jamaat Khana to drink coffee and talk and laugh. I don't think I would find a single person who would say that. But that's exactly what we see our dear brother and sister, our Jamaat, doing every single day. Think about it, self-reflection. Inshallah, मौला बहुत ही मेहरबान है. हमारी बात समझ में आ गई है तो आप उसको अपने वक्त को जाया ना करें, इमाम को अनहैप्पी ना करें, जमात खाने जाने का जो पर्पस है उसको निभाएं. क्योंकि जमात खाने का जाने का मकसद काफी पीना नहीं था, जमात खाने जाने का मकसद इबादत करना था. Inshallah. Let's come back to the Farman. Mullah says, when you rise from the bandagi, never rise from the bandagi unhappy. Always rise from the bandagi in happiness, whether you have succeeded or not. Because the very fact of sitting in bandagi is already an important aspect of your individual search for enlightenment. जब भी आप इबादत से खड़े हो, खुशी से खड़े हो, क्योंकि अगर आप इबादत में बैठे हैं तो यही सबसे बड़ी आपकी कामयाबी है और यही आपका मकसद था इबादत में बैठने का, कि आपने सर्च किया था इनलाइटमेंट के लिए. स्पिरिचुअल सर्च था वो, बैतुल ख्याल था वो. आप जानते हैं कि बैतुल ख्याल के दो मतलब होते हैं, बातिन का ख्याल और ऊपर का ख्याल. There are two meaning of बैतुल ख्याल, the thought of the inside and thought of the higher. Inshallah, if you wish to come for promotion, you can come for promotion in due course, because bowl is the link. This is a very, very important part for us to understand. Let me highlight that. Bowl is a link. In one of Maula Baba's Farman, Maula Baba says, I have given you this link So you may come closer and closer and closer to the Noor of Imam. Bol is a link. Each time you pull the link, each time you pull the link, each time you pull the link, you are coming closer, closer, and closer to the Noor of Imam. It's a link between Murid and Murshid, between our lower soul and Imam's higher soul, between us and the Didar and the Noor of the Imam. इसमें आजम इबादत एक लिंक है मुरीद और मुर्शिद के दरमियान का. आप उसको खींचें, करीब जाएं और करीब जाएं, और जैसे जैसे आप करीब जाएंगे इंशाल्लाह वो लिंक आपको इमाम के करीब करीब और करीब. एक दिन आप देखेंगे कि आप इमाम के कितने करीब आ गए हैं. All of a sudden one day, without even knowing or feeling, you will realize how close you are to the Imam because you are pulling on the link. You are getting closer and closer to Imam's Noor, Imam's Didar, inshallah. Because the bowl is a link. It is a way to come closer and closer during your lifetime to the light, to the Noor. And one day there will be only be that light. That is so beautiful. आप लिंक को स्टेप बाय स्टेप एक एक करके इमाम के इतने करीब आ जाए कि एक दिन आप पूरे के पूरे नूर के अंदर डूब जाएंगे. You will become part of the Noor. You will be so close to the Imam, you will become part of that Noor. How amazing is that? Just thinking about it, just reading about it makes me happy. That one day there will be nothing but you and Imam's Noor. Matter of fact, you will forget yourself. You will be part of Imam's Noor. एक दिन आप इतने करीब आ जाएंगे कि नूर के दरिया में डूब जाएंगे, अपने आप को बुला देंगे. There would be nothing but the Noor, the light, all around you. आपके अंदर और बाहर, आपकी सोच, आपकी आंखों में, आपकी जबान पर, आपके कान में, आपके हाथों पर, हर जगह पर नूर नूर नूर. ये बात खाली पढ़कर सोचकर इतनी खुशी हो रही है, तो आप सोचें जब हम नूर के अंदर एक हो जाएंगे तो हमारी खुशी की क्या हालत होगी. Can you imagine? Just reading about it, thinking about it is making us this happy. And we are this close to the Noor of Imam. This close. One more push and you will merge into the Noor. You will be the part of the Noor. There will be nothing but the Noor. So much that you will forget yourself. Inshallah, soon. There will be no physical context left in the life of each individual. Therefore, seek out the light and practice regularly and be discreet. ऐसा नूर के आप सब कुछ भूल जाएंगे, अपने आप को भूल जाएंगे. Such a light that you will forget. There will be no context of the physical life, individual living. That moment, that would be your Nowruz. That would be your Laylatul Qadr. That would be the day of Eid for you. That would be the day of Qiyamah for you. That would be the day that you will always remember, the day you became Fana fi Imam, merged with the Noor. लेकिन खामोश रहना, be discreet. Don't tell anyone. Don't show that to anyone. Silent. Keep it to yourself. That is for you. Individually, it is for you. And you only. Do not talk about it. Do not show. Be silent. Keep rosa. Inshallah, all this is coming soon. Mullah says, sit in humility, sit in happiness. When you rise, rise happy. Because simply the fact of sitting in bandagi is a search of the greatest importance. जब आप बैठे हैं, आजीजी के साथ बैठे हैं, खुशी के साथ बैठे हैं. जब आप उठे, खुशी के साथ उठे. क्योंकि ये बहुत ही जरूरी अमल है. Because the search of the greatest importance and of the greatest meaning. I believe this Farman is so clear. So clear. We just have to remember and follow. If I were you, I would listen to this again and again, couple of times, until we absorb all the understanding. अगर मैं आपकी जगह पर होता तो इसको एक मर्तबा, दो मर्तबा, तीन मर्तबा बार बार सुनता, जब तक कि पूरा अपने अंदर उतार ना लेता, ताकि बंदगी में जब हम बैठेंगे तो हमें वो खुशी हासिल होगी जिसके लिए इमाम ने हमारे लिए दुआ फरमाई है, इंशाल्लाह. And it is my strongest prayer that at least once during your lifetime, each one of you should be successful. Ameen. That you should find the light. Ameen. That it should give you spiritual strength. Ameen. That it should give you spiritual happiness. Ameen. Ameen, Mullah. Ameen. That it should enable you to confront all adversity in the life. ये वो चीज होगी कि आपकी तमाम मुश्किलात, जो भी मुश्किलात है आपकी, जाहिरी, बातिनी और अकलानी, मुला फरमाते ये सब दूर हो जाएंगी. आपके पास इतना स्ट्रेंथ आएगा. In one of the Imam's Farman, Baitul Kal Farman, Mullah says, all your unhappiness, your trials, your mushkilat will move. मौला फरमाते हैं कि पार को आप यूं करके हटा देंगे, मुश्किलात को एक हाथ से आप दूर कर देंगे. इतना स्ट्रेंथ होगा आपके अंदर. That is the power of Isme Azam. That is the power of Ibadat. Then nothing will be in front of you. You yourself will have enough strength to move the mountains. We understand this part? That is due to Ibadat. That is due to the power of the Isme Azam. Inshallah. It will give you spiritual strength. That it should give you the spiritual happiness. That it should enable you to confront all your adversity in the life. that you should always remain strong on Sirat al-Mustaqim. I give to you my best, special blessing for success in your bandagi. Khana Vadan, Ameen. Khana Vadan, Ameen. Khana Vadan, Ameen. Let's see if we can finish this Farman today. Finally, remember that those who are successful are especially close to me. You will understand what I mean. This part again, I believe this Farman has given us so much happiness that we cannot describe. When you sit in ibadat with the greatest understanding what you are doing, then you are already successful. Just by sitting in ibadat, you are successful. And you are closer to the Imam. आप में से वो लोग जो इबादत बंदगी का मतलब समझते हैं, वो तो इबादत में बैठे ही आप समझ ले आप कामयाब हो गए, क्योंकि आप मौला के साथ बैठे हुए हैं, मौला के इश्क वो मोहब्बत में बैठे हुए हैं, मौला ने आपका हाथ पकड़ा हुआ है, अब तो कामयाब और कामयाब है. You are successful the second you sit in ibadat because you are sitting with Mola. And Mola says, you will understand what I mean. And I give you my best, special loving blessing for success. Sit in peace and in happiness. Sit in peace and happiness, and inshallah, you will be successful. आप जब भी बैठे आराम से, सुकून से, खुशी से, याद रखें कि मौला आपके साथ खड़ा हुआ है. ये ध्यान करके आप इबादत में बैठे हैं, आप ऑलरेडी कामयाब हैं. चूंकि आपने सुकून इख्तियार किया है, तो वो रोशनी, वो दीदार, वो नूर जिसकी आपको चाहत है, मौला फरमाते कि उसके लिए मेरी बेस्ट जाती इंडिविजुअल ब्लेसिंग आपके साथ है. और आप इंशाल्लाह इसी जिंदगी के अंदर इसमें कामयाब हो गए, यानी कि नूर के अंदर मर्ज हो जाएंगे. विद इन दिस लाइफ you will be with the Noor of the Imam, with the Didar. Why? Because that is Imam's wish and will for us. That is Imam's blessing for us. It's Khana Vadan for us. Remember in our Isme Azam and Ibadat sessions, we had talked about it is not the bowl. Bowl is a link. It is the blessing, mercy, Khana Vadan, wish, prayers of the Imam which we need. That is what will make you successful. Because Imam wants you to be successful, not because you want it, because Imam wants you to be successful. इसलिए नहीं कि आपने चाहा, इसलिए कि मौला आपके लिए ये चाहता है कि आप इसमें कामयाब हो जाएं, जिंदगी में एक मर्तबा जरूर उस नूर का दीदार करें, वो नूर आपको छुए. वो दिन, that will be the day of Navroz for you. वो दिन आपके लिए नवरोज होगा. That will be the day of Laylatul Qadr for you. वही तो पावरफुल रात होगी आपके लिए. That will be the day of Qiyamah for you. वही तो रात होगी जब आपके ऊपर क़यामत बर्पा हो जाएंगी और आप इमाम के अंदर फना हो जाएंगे. That day, that will be the day of Eid for you. वो दिन आपके लिए ईद का दिन होगा. आप खुशी से समो नहीं सकेंगे, आपके चेहरे से नूर झलकेगा. It will reflect from you. The nur of Imam will reflect from you. Inshallah. Mullah says, I give you my best special blessing, each and every one of you. Again, Khana Wadan, Khana Wadan. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. So यहाँ पर ये फरमान खत्म होता है. Inshallah, we will start on some new farman next week. Now, if you have any comments, any question, anything that you like me to repeat, please let me know. Ji.
Subhanallah, sir, Subhanallah. Friends, please share your questions in the chat. Sir, we have one question in the chat. Is Maulana Hazimam addressing overcoming about spiritual difficulties or material difficulties? As in many Farman, Maulana Hazimam has mentioned that Baitul Khayal is not related to the material world.
Right. What very beautiful question. In the spiritual strength, there is strength enough to overcome physical, spiritual, and intellectual difficulties. What does it mean? Will you all of a sudden become rich? Or will all of a sudden all your bills and physical difficulties will go away? No, it does not mean that. It will give you spiritual strength to face that difficulty. So that difficulty, which was like a mountain, it will be no more. In one of Sultan Muhammad Shah Farman, Mullah says, मोमिन हमेशा खुशी में होता है क्योंकि वो रूहानी मस्ती में होता है. You see, that is what Imam says. With the spiritual strength, you always be happy. You will be able to move the mountains of difficulties because you will have so much strength, spiritual power, that nothing will bother you. The mountain of difficulties will feel like nothing. That's how much strength you will have spiritually. So physical, spiritual, and intellectual difficulties will be removed. How? With a spiritual strength. Ji.
Sir, we don't have any question in the chat. We have one of the friends raised the hand. Nuri, please go ahead and unmute your mic and you can ask the question. Nuri, are you still there? Okay. All right, not sure what happened. Friends, please unmute your device if you have any question.
हाँ यानी मेरे अजीज सर अभी जो आप बोल गए तो उर्दू में समझाइए मेरे को.
जी. एक जना ने सवाल पूछा कि जब मौला ने फरमाया कि इबादत में आपका जोर इतना बढ़ेगा कि आपकी तमाम मुश्किलात आसान हो जाएंगी, तो वो पूछ रहे थे कि ये कौन सी मुश्किलात आसान हो जाएंगी. नाचीज ने अर्ज की कि दुनियावी मुश्किलात, रूहानी मुश्किलात और अक्लानी मुश्किलात तमाम आसान हो जाएंगी क्योंकि इबादत के अंदर इतना जोर है कि कोई भी पहाड़ जैसी मुश्किल भी होगी ना तो वो आपको आसान लगेंगी क्योंकि आपके पास वो रूहानी पावर होगा. तो मौला ने जिस तरह फरमाया कि मुश्किलात के पहाड़ों को आप हिला देंगे, हटा देंगे, इतना जोर है इबादत के अंदर। तो ये नाचीज अर्ज कर रहा था जी।
थैंक यू सर।
Sir, we have a
Can I
question.
ask one question?
जी
Aziz Ba, Mola Bapa Kitchen, remember that those who are successful are especially close to me. You will understand what I mean. Ajar explain karo ne please.
जी। तो बताइए से पहले आपने જોઈએ कि सक्सेसफुल 600। So did everyone understand the question? My sister is asking, when Mola says that remember that those who are successful are especially close to me, you will understand what I mean. કે તમારામાંથી જે સક્સેસફુલ છે એ તો મારા બહુ જ કરીબ છે ને તમે સમજી ગયા હું શું કહું છું? આ મોલા બાપા કે છે, આ મોલા બાપાના વર્ડ છે। એટલે કે મોલા બાપાએ ઉપર કીધું કે ઇબાદતમાં બેસવું જ સક્સેસફુલ છે, ઇબાદતમાં બેસવું જ કામયાબી છે। શું કામે? કે લોકો ઇબાદતમાં બેસે છે તો એ વિચાર કરીને બેસે છે કે મોલા મારા બાજુમાં છે, મારા કરીબ છે। તો મોલા બાપા કે છે તમે સમજી ગયા મારા મતલબ? ઇબાદતમાં બેસવું જ તો કામયાબી છે। તો જી આ સમજીને બેસે છે કે ઇબાદતમાં બેસવું જ કામયાબી છે, તો હું તો એના કરીબ જ છું, હું એનાથી દૂર ક્યાં રહેતો? And Mola, with a smile on his face, saying, you will understand what I mean. તમે સમજી ગયા મારો શું મતલબ હતો? આ મોલા બાપાના અલ્ફાઝ છે આ ફરમાનના અંદર।
Amin. Thank you so
With a
much.
big smile on his face, મોલા બાપા say, you understand what I mean. તો આપણે જ્યારે ઇબાદતમાં બેસીએ તો ઈ વિચારીને બેસવાનો કે અહીંયા બેઠા છે ને ઈ જ તો આપણી કામયાબી છે। यानी कि જે સુતા છે ને એ લોકો નાકામ છે। Who are failed? Who have failed? Not those who sit in ibadat. Those who are sleeping have failed. Because sitting in ibadat itself is a success. And Mola Baba with the biggest smile says, you will understand what I mean. Because you are sitting in ibadat. And I'm close to you. I'm sitting right next to you. My hand is on your shoulder. I'm holding your hand. How can you be not successful? જોયું તમે? જી
Sir, we have a few questions in the chat. First one is, I try to perform in ibadat accordingly, but I cannot feel happiness. What might be the problem?
Problem is in our mind and thought. That is not possible. That is not possible that if you understand ibadat bandagi and not feel happiness. ये मुमकिन नहीं है कि आप इबादत बंदगी का मतलब समझ जाए और खुशी महसूस ना करें। तो प्रॉब्लम इज कि इबादत बंदगी का मतलब नहीं समझे हैं। So let me repeat this again, Urdu English both में। It is not possible for one not to feel happiness if you understand the meaning of ibadat bandagi. अगर आप इबादत बंदगी का मतलब समझते हैं तो आप खुश हो ही जाएंगे। इबादत बंदगी का क्या मतलब था कि इबादत बंदगी बर्डन के साथ नहीं करनी है, तकलीफ के साथ नहीं करनी है। मौला ने क्या फरमाया? जब आप इबादत में बैठे तो खुशी के साथ बैठे, तो आप खुशी कैसे महसूस नहीं करेंगे? आप इबादत में बैठे ही खुशी के साथ है। यू मस्ट सिट इन इबादत विथ हैप्पीनेस, then how will you not feel happiness? You see that? इबादत को बर्डन के साथ नहीं करना है, खुशी के साथ करना है। जब आप खुशी के साथ बैठेंगे तो खुशी फील करेंगे। Let me show you that line once again. Is not too far from here. We just talked about it. that when you sit in ibadat, sit with happiness, with peace. आप देख रहे हैं ना ये लाइन, sit in ibadat with happiness. मैंने हाईलाइट कर दिया आपको. Sit in peace and in happiness. Sit in peace and happiness, and inshallah you will be successful. देखा आपने? आप जब इबादत में बैठे तो खुशी खुशी बैठे हैं, क्योंकि ये तो मोहब्बत का सौदा है, बटन के साथ नहीं, जोर जबरदस्ती नहीं. ये तो एक आपने बैठना ही आपके लिए कामयाबी थी, तो फिर आप क्यों हैप्पीनेस फील नहीं करेंगे? इसका मतलब है कि इबादत का मतलब नहीं समझे अभी तक आप. I hope this answers your question. See, I love you guys because ask. If you don't understand, ask. We just talked about that. Still you don't understand, ask again. I'll be happy to repeat again and again until we all understand. Thank you for asking, G.
So we have another question. Mullah Hazimam has mentioned in Farman that if we are not well, you don't perform bandagi. His Mullah is addressing about physical illness or mental illness.
That is not a hard question for us to understand. If you are not able to wake up, let's take example, you have taken some medicine due to some sickness, you will not be able to wake up, you will not be able to sit in bandagi. Now does it matter you are taking the medicine for your physical or your mental health? You see, it's not a easy, hard question. And Mullah have said, Mullah is so Rahman and Rahim. If you are sick and if you cannot wake up, but don't make that excuse that I'm sick. It's not an excuse. If you are using that as an excuse, then that is sad. But if you are truly sick, regardless of physical or mental, and you cannot perform bandagi, then you cannot perform bandagi. And you will find Imam Rahman and Rahim. Mullah is so great. He loves you so much. He will not punish you, but be careful. Be careful to not use that as an excuse to not do ibadat. Ji.
So another question, is it okay for one to keep Naqsh in mind while reciting any tasbih?
All right. So, can I say something strongly? We have been talking about this for almost 2 years now. This should not even be a question. Yes, we just talked about that last week. Naqsh, the Isme Azam, the word, must be utilized and must be focused right here. We want to utilize and engage our eyes, our tongue, and our ears. In other words, we wanted to engage all our senses in the ibadat. Keep the naqsh at your forehead so you can see it. Say your Isme Azam in yourself so loudly, not with your mouth, inside of you, so you can hear your Isme Azam. Why do we have to have a naqsh, voice, and listening? So we engage all of our senses. If you have utilized and engaged all of your senses, then no outside thought will come into your mind. If you do not use your naksh, your Isme Azam, and keep it in forehead to see with your eyes, then other thoughts will attack you. मैं उर्दू में इसको बयान कर दूं, आप अपना इसमें आजम, अगर मौला ने नक्श दिया है तो ठीक है, वरना आप अपने इसमें आजम को लिखकर आपका ज़हन में बिठा दें। जब आप इबादत में बैठे तो अपने नक्श को देखें, आप अपने नक्श को बोलें, आप अपने नक्श को इसमें आजम को सुने। आप अपने इसमें आजम को देखें, अपने इसमें आजम को बोले, अपने इसमें आजम को सुने। आपके तमाम सेंसेस को आप यूज करें ताकि बाहर के कोई ख्यालात ना आ जाए। It is not if should I, you must. ये सवाल नहीं है कि मैं करूं कि नहीं करूं, आपको करना ही है। आपको अपने इसमें आजम को अपने आंखों के सामने रखना है, आपके इधर रखना है फोरहेड पर, आपको झांपना है, आपको सुनना है, तमाम आपके सेंसेस को इस्तेमाल करना है ताकि बाहर के ख्यालात ना आए। यस, यू मस्ट। जी।
Okay. Okay. Mansoor bhai, you raise your hand. You have any question? Please unmute your device.
I'm Yasmin Shivji. Yali Madad sir, your explanation is very inspiring. But what happens to me is, I know Mullah is Mehraban, and I keep on saying, Tere taraf ko karam hamesha paap dosha mera. But I have, my thoughts just wander during the bandgi. And when the bandgi is finished, then I feel really guilty that, I wasted so much of my Nurani time. If you can please help me overcome those feelings.
Easy answer. Ask yourself, okay, you don't have to say anything on this line. Ask yourself few questions. Do you practice your ibadat during daytime? Number one question, okay? And you can answer to yourself. Do you practice your ibadat in daytime? Number one. Number two, do you practice your Isme Azam during the daytime? Okay. Have you focused on your Isme Azam during the daytime? So abhi 3 ho gaya. If your answer is no, do it. If your answer is yes, do it more focusedly. Focus on your ibadat, practice your ibadat during the daytime. Focus on your Isme Azam, write it down if you need to during the daytime, and practice your ibadat during the daytime. Ibadat is a practice. 4 o'clock is time for test. 4 o'clock is time for test. Practice का जो वक्त है ना वो तो दिन के अंदर था. So take those 3 questions. If your answer is no, then do it. If answer is yes, then focus more. Okay? अब दूसरा लिख ले आप. What do I do during the daytime? How much remembrance tasbiyat do I do during the daytime? Second, how much faltu baatein, gossiping, do I do during the daytime? That is very key, because you said my thought wanders. It's because we do so much during the daytime, outside the remembrance, outside the ibadat, outside the Isme Azam practice, that you have in your mind, you have nothing but those gossiping or worldly thought. And I want to give a very light example of that. अगर आप पाकिस्तान इंडिया में रहते हैं या अमेरिका में जॉब्स करते हैं, आप सारा दिन मासियों से, काम वालों के साथ आपके जॉब के अंदर इतना फोकस करते हैं कि वो रात को आपके दिमाग में चलता है. And look what Imam has said. Take those moments out of your work. Take those minutes out of your daily life and remember me. Remember me. Remember me. Ibadat is a practice. It's not a one-time event. अब याद रखें, अब मौला के हर एक स्पेशल फरमान को उठा के देखें आप, मौला ने क्या फरमाया? इबादत is a practice. Ibadat is a discipline. Ibadat is not a one-time event. Those of you who perform ibadat 1 hour in 24 hours, you yourself have blocked yourself. Ibadat is a practice. And we just talked about that last week. And we've been talking about this for last 2 years. I will request you, if you want it to be successful, listen to those lectures on Isme Azam and Ibadat. They are not one, but dozens. I know not one, but dozens and hundreds of people who have become successful in Ibadat. How? Just by understanding what Ibadat is. By listening and understanding and then following what has been said in last 2 years on Ibadat and Isme Azam. Ibadat is not that hard. Matter of fact, Ibadat is the most beautiful practice in our tariqah. Because Ibadat is a single source of happiness. It is not possible for us not to be happy. Because when we sit in Ibadat, we sit with the happiness in Ibadat. If you're not sitting in Ibadat with the happiness, then you already have felt. Because Mullah has said right there on your screen, sit in peace, in happiness. And Mullah repeats, sit in peace and happiness. And inshallah, you will be successful. See, ये तो practice है हमारी. Does this answer your question? I hope. Ask yourself those questions. It will not take long. Inshallah, today, you will be happy. कल की जरूरत भी नहीं है, इंतजार की जरूरत नहीं है आपको. आज ही आप इबादत में खुशी खुशी बैठेंगे तो खुशी खुशी उठेंगे. You see, it's not that hard. Thank you for asking. जी,
Thank you.
my pleasure.
Yali Madad sir.
Yali
Sir,
Madad.
what is Upar ka khayal?
Ah, finally someone is asking. Finally, किसी ने सुना, सोचा और पूछा. नाचीज ने अर्ज की, बेतुल ख्याल अंदर का ख्याल है और ऊपर का ख्याल है. Okay, so I'm gonna sit over here so you can see me. When you are in ibadat, when you sit in ibadat, आप अपने अंदर जाएं, आपके आलम शख्सी में जाएं. आपका अंदर एक पूरी दुनिया है और बेतुल ख्याल वो प्रैक्टिस है जहां आप अंदर की दुनिया के अंदर उतरते हैं. अब आपके अंदर की दुनिया में एक बवन गोफा है जिसको उर्दू के अंदर हजीरा कुस कहते हैं. हमारे गिनानों में इसको बवर गोफा कहा गया. कुरान के अंदर उसको मेराज कहा गया. इंग्लिश में उसको एलिवेशन कहते हैं. तो जब आप अपने आलम शख्सी के अंदर उतरते हैं तो आपको अंदर जाके फिर ऊपर की तरफ आना है, यानी कि यहां पर आना है. मौला ने अपने एक फरमान में, जो लोग बैठे हुए थे उन्होंने लिखा है फरमान के अंदर कि मौला ने अपनी अंगश मुबारक को यहाँ पर रखकर फरमाया कि दीदार यहाँ पर है, मेरा नूर यहाँ पर है। नूर यहाँ पर नहीं है, नूर यहाँ पर है। पहले आप अपने अंदर उतरे, फिर अपने इसमें आजम को, अपने बोल को ऊपर ले जाएं, यानी कि फोकस करें यहाँ पर, क्योंकि दीदार भी इधर है, नूर भी इधर है, इसमें आजम भी इधर है, यानी कि ख्याल करें। अभी हमारी जो एक बहन पूछ रही थी नक्श के बारे में, अपने आप को इंगेज करें, इसमें आजम को लिखकर उसके ऊपर फोकस करें यहाँ पर, क्योंकि यहीं से आपका इसमें आजम जिंदा होने वाला है, यहीं पर आपको दीदार मिलने वाला है और यहीं पर नूर मिलने वाला है। अगर आप में से कोई ऐसा है कि जो अपने इसमें आजम पर फोकस नहीं करता है, तो आपने खुद ही अपने आप को नीचे रखा हुआ है, जबकि आपको ऊपर ले जाना था। बहुत ही खूबसूरती से आपने सुनकर समझकर सवाल किया जी, थैंक यू सो मच। Any other comments, question?
Yalim, sir.
या ली मदद?
Sir, something, one question. I have some problem. Sir, एक गिनान है, उसमें ये है कि आप जब इसमें आजम लेते हैं, सर वो है अपना भरम प्रकाश, तो वो आप जापते जापते आप अपनी अम्लाइकस नीचे, देन बैक एंड देन अपर साइड, तो इज दैट ट्रू?
जी बिल्कुल। आपको पता है ना कि गिनान जो है वो पीरों के रूहानी एक्सपीरियंसेस है, माजिजात हैं। रूहानियत में उन्होंने जो देखा ना, वो इन्होंने गिनान में लिखा है। हालांकि एक तरफ से हम कहते हैं कि आपकी जो रूहानियत के अंदर कामयाबी है आप किसी को बोले नहीं, लेकिन हमारे पीरों ने अपनी रूहानी कामयाबी को गिनानों में लिखा है। तो गिनान में जो लिखा है वो तो दुरुस्त ही है, बल्कि हमारे जो आरिफीन हैं उन्होंने अपनी रूहानियत को अच्छी तरह से लिखा है उन्होंने, ताकि हम गरीब उससे फायदा उठा सके। So that is true. Yes. जी।
Sir, few of the friends are asking if you could explain in English the Upar Ka Khayal.
Yes. So first, in Baitul Khayal, the Baitul Khayal is not of the outer or physical matter. Baitul Khayal is a matter of inside of your personal world. So when you close your eyes, go inside yourself. Once you are inside yourself in your personal world, then take the Isme Azam and rise from here. How do you do that? One, speed of the Isme Azam. That speed and the power of the Isme Azam will rise from your inside with your soul. You will rise from here and focus the Naksh, the word. You must have practice to bring it over here, focus. So when you recite your Isme Azam and when you focus here, you will bring that Isme Azam along with your soul all the way to the forehead. Because forehead is the place where the Didar is, where your Isme Azam is, where your Noor is. And in Quran, in our Ginan, and in Mullah Baba's Farman, one I was quoting a minute ago, In one of these sessions, Baitul Qiyal, 40th Imam puts his finger on his forehead and said, remember, your didar and your nur is in your forehead, like this. That's Sultan Muhammad Shah's Baitul Qiyal Farman. Your nur is in your forehead. Your didar is in your forehead. So where you should be focused? On your forehead. Hum, in the Urdu, there are different words for forehead. In Ginan, Bhavan Gofa. In the Quran, Hazira Kus. In our religion language, place of Miraj is all right here. So when you recite, and I can show you how to do that. Let's say your Isme Azam is Ya Ali. And if your hands are correctly focused like this, you see this, and you can see it from this side, my thumb right here and right here. And when you're sitting, you always must sit with your back up, straight up like this. Okay, connection. And when you focus on your Isme Azam, and when you are saying Ya Ali, speed is a must. Quantity is a must. How many times in a minute? 120 times minimum. 120 times in a minute minimum. If you can do more, great. Okay. Yali 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 yali. When you do that, your soul and your Isme Azam will rise, and will rise all the way to here, because you are focused here. That's where you are focused. And your Isme Azam will rise along with your soul and will become one with the Noor. One with the Noor. Speed is a must. Quantity is a must. You cannot be lazy. You cannot be sitting there. Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Ali. That's not the way to do ibadat. Ibadat requires their punctuality, their pressure. You need to build their pressure. Like a pressure cooker, your Isme Azam must rise to your head, forehead. G. Let's make one last question, Kamya Sahib, and then we can end here.
Sir, we have one question in the chat. Friends asking, what is the relation between Noor and Ruh? Does the individual soul exist in Asal Mewasal, which is union?
That's a very good question. Very good question. If you take the example of the sun and the sun ray, Urdu में भी अभी मैं समझाता हूँ. If you take the example of the sun and sun ray, let's say the sun is the Noor and sun ray is the soul, Ruh. Now you understand what is the difference between Noor and the soul? When you are inside the sun, it is your very soul which is Noor. When you are outside the sun, your very soul which was the Noor now is called Ruh. In the Quran, if you wanted to see that, in the event of Adam, where Allah said, I have blown my soul into Adam. Code word, I have blown my Noor into Adam. So example of the sun, the Noor. Example of the sun ray, the soul. We are the sun ray, the soul of the Noor, the Imam. उर्दू के अंदर बहुत खूबसूरत क्वेश्चन है कि नूर में और रूह में क्या फर्क है. उसकी मिसाल जो है वो सूरज है. सूरज नूर का मंबा है, इमाम की मिसाल है, और उसकी शुआएं रूह की मिसाल है। जब आप सूरज के अंदर है, इमाम के अंदर है, तो आप नूर है। जब आप उससे अलग है तो आप रूह है। यानी कि नूर से निकला हुआ रूह, नूर से निकली हुई शुआएं रूह कहलाती है, और रूह जो नूर में मिल जाती है, इमाम में फना हो जाती है, नूर कहलाती है। Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever wondered about that? How beautiful this concept is. Ilm, ilm, ilm is the key to the success. इल्म वाली रूह दर्जा ब दर्जा ऊपर जाती है। Because more you understand this thing, easier it gets for you to be one with him. Inshallah. Should we end here?
Ji sir, we don't have any questions, sir.
Thank you everyone. Inshallah we'll see you tomorrow morning. Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad,
Yali Madad.
Mullah
Ya Ali
Ali
Madad,
Ya
Ali
Ali
Madad,
Madad, sir. Shukr.
Yali Madad.
Shukr, Ali.
Ya Ali Madad,
Thank
Ya
you
Ali
so
Madad,
much.
Ya Ali Madad,
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad,
Yali Madad.
thank you.
Yali Madad,
Ya
sir.
Ali
Thank you.
Madad, Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad. Thank you,
Shukr.
thank you.
Thank you.
Shukran,
Yali
alhamdulillah.
Madad.
Ya Ali
Yali
It was an
Madad.
excellent session.
Shukran, alhamdulillah. Mola is so great. Mola is so great. Thank you.
Amin. Amin.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Ali Madad.
याली मदद मौला तुम्हारी सेवा कबूल करे।
Ameen, Ameen, Ameen.
Yali Madad. Thank you so much.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Shukr, alhamdulillah.